Scouts Victoria respectfully acknowledges the traditional custodians of the country throughout Victoria where our activities take place today. We pay our respects to elders both past, present and emerging, and continue to recognise and embrace the important continuous history and connection to land and community of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people.
Hello and welcome to Venture Victoria's Livestream. I'm Maddie and this is Lacey and we'll be your hosts tonight. Tonight we'll be answering questions regarding the Special Interest Area Badges with special guest Lawrence, State Commissioner Environment.
Before we start, drop any questions you have in the chat and we'll try to answer as many as possible in our Ask Zoe segment later on. We've asked on Facebook and Instagram for the silliest photos of your leaders, and these are the best ones.
Cast your votes in the chat to vote for which photo you think is the best. And at the end of the live stream, we will announce the winning unit who will receive a prize. Before we get into the questions about the SIA badges, we've introduced a few more people into the State Venture Council, including myself, Lacey and Blake, as well as Eli taking up a new position.
Hi everyone, I'm Eli from Bennett's Adventures and I've taken up the position of State Leader of Venturers.
Okay. And as mentioned, I'm Maddie from 28th Glenara. I've also taken up the position of Assistant State Leader of Venturers.
I'm Lacey and I'm from First Up Beaconsfield and I'm on the council.
Now, without further ado, we will be getting into the content. To start off, we will be telling you about the Special Interest Areas, or SIAs, a part in the new program. And to help us explain it is Lawrence Williams from the SIA team. The Special Interest Area element of our program truly encompasses challenging oneself, where Scouts aged 5 to 25 are encouraged to explore a huge range of topics and challenges throughout their Scouting journey. An individual's goals are recognised as they progress through each section of Scouting and achieving their individual goals. There are 6 broad SIA categories, including Adventure and Sport, Arts and Literature, Creating a Better World, Environment, Growth and Development, and finally, STEM and Innovation. Scouts are encouraged to find goals and something they're passionate about under one of the 6 SIA categories. Scouts are encouraged to come up with their own goals and partake in an activity to pursue their goal. Scouts are able to either complete SIA badges as an individual or as a patrol. Similar to the old system, all of the SIA badges require an examiner to approve the badge. Similar to other parts of the system, the progress of Plan Do Review is still required. Unlike the OAS badges, the SIA badges restart at the end of each section, and the specific requirements in each age group are slightly different, being the length of the activity. One of the great things is that the SIA can incorporate and recognise skills that are gained in life outside of Scouting. Another advantage is that the individual is able to partake in any activity that they can set a goal for. SIAs can also link heavily within the UN Sustainable Development Goals, allowing for Venture Scouts to directly contribute to us making the world a better place through our SIA projects. It's important to identify your impact with your project and show how you are creating a better world.
Cool. Hi everyone, I'm Lawrence. I'm the State Commissioner of Environment, so I'm here tonight to answer a few questions about SIAs, which is pretty exciting. Thanks for having me.
So what are some of the SIA requirements to achieve the Queen Scout?
Cool. So to achieve the Queen Scout, you need to complete 6 SIA projects across at least 3 different areas. And they could be, split up in any way you want. You could, if you're a really artsy focused person, you could start off with doing 3 art projects and then maybe 1 environment. You could do 1 adventure and sport. And then 1 creating a better world. So it needs to be at least 3 different areas, and each project needs to be 12 hours long.
Cool. So how do external providers sign off badge work?
it's important that we find the right people to help us plan our projects, the right mentors. This could be a leader or a subject matter expert in the field. So subject matter experts could be anyone inside or outside of scouting with experience or qualifications in the field that your project or your goal sits in. And subject matter experts will help you help you out to make sure that your goals are achievable, challenging, and reasonable within your project plan, and can help you find resources to support your project. So some external providers might be a bit obvious, like music teachers, sports coaches, but you can also seek out people within your local land care group. These are great places to look for help and for mentorship. So you should check with your unit council when you present your plan that they are the right mentor or subject matter expert for you, and keep them informed on your progress and ask for questions and help when you need it. External providers can help you review your project at the end and provide the unit council with confidence that you did your best.
Cool. So how does the SIA cater to people with different levels of physical capability?
This is a great question. So SIA projects are a bit of a choose your own adventure. So we really get a chance to cater to whatever level of challenge you have. So if you're as an individual, your level of challenge is something kind of high and you're looking for extension or reach, you can set your goal to be at that level of challenge. So people with any level of physical capability could get something out of doing an SIA. The best way to do that is by talking to your unit council and explain to them what you think is a challenge for you and have a good discussion around that. And if you feel like you need help advocating for your project or your challenge as well, don't hesitate to email the SIA team and we can help you find the level of challenge that's right for you. But really, it's all about whatever is challenging for you. Don't set the bar too high and try not to set it too low as well. Just find that sweet spot where you're going to learn and try something new.
If a specific goal is similar to an OAS badge, but not specifically in the OAS badge, can it still be counted as an SIA badge?
Yeah, so there's some overlap between OAS badges and the special interest areas, but the general advice that we give is that you shouldn't aim for an OAS badge to be your special interest area project. All right, but any competencies that you develop along the way in outdoor adventure skills that you've done during your special interest area project can get ticked off. So for example, your special interest area project could be to coordinate a service trip for your unit out to Gippsland to do a bunch of activities, maybe help out with a project in the local community. If you happen to do some sailing or swimming as one of the activities on the trip, and I hope you do because it's a good place for it, you should definitely tick those OAS competencies off, but it shouldn't be baked into your SIA project. I hope that makes sense.
Can you do an SIA badge to further a goal already completed in a previous SIA badge?
Yeah, so I think with SIA projects, there's a bit of a danger that you might bite off more than you can chew. And at the venturer level, you only need to run a project for 12 hours. So try not to plan for more than that. But if you achieve your goal and you still feel passionately about extending your skills in that area, set a new, more challenging goal and discuss with your unit council to start a new project after completing the previous one. And if the unit council feels as though you wouldn't be extending yourself enough to warrant another project, you might have to go back to the drawing board.
Cool. So which courses that Ventures Victoria have previously run will count as an SIA badge?
So it's up to the course leaders to alter their course to fit the SIA format. We tried out a camp earlier this year at Camp Coringal called Rivermeet Environment Camp. And it was to, sorry, teleprompter, damn. We had tried it earlier this year and gave participants a chance to develop a project with some mentors on the camp. So I don't think it'd be wise for courses to just hand out SIA badges just for participating. It's not really in the spirit of what SIAs are all about. However, if you talk to your unit council, you could easily set a goal for after the course and use that course as a part of the learning towards that goal. So for example, your goal could be to learn about beekeeping and maybe try out beekeeping at home, or maybe crafting products with beeswax. And then a good idea would be to go along to the GWS Anderson Beekeeping Environment course, and that can help you learn the skills needed for that goal. If a course is enough of a challenge for you to complete your badge, all right, so you've determined a goal for what you will learn or achieve on that course and your unit council approves, then you should be able to use the course as a whole project, depending on the course length. And courses should be able to support you to develop your plan, connect you with subject matter experts, but you should always refer back to your unit council to approve that plan before you begin. Just a last point, venturers with a lot of experience in an area could consider joining a team to help run a course for venturers, or even for a younger section. You know, Scouts, Cubs and Joeys love getting outdoors, so running things like environment camps or sport camps could be a great way to connect with them. And you can use that work as on that course as an SIA project.
Cool. If you do any SIA courses, do you still have to do other stuff in order to complete the badge?
Yeah, so as I was saying before, basically if you go on a course, you might still have to set a goal outside that course. You might find something that you're really interested in on that course, and then you can sort of extend that into a project for yourself. But it's up to you to talk to your unit council about what's going to challenge you best.
Cool. Are there any other courses that count for both SIA and OSA?
OAS, yeah. Not sure about this one. You might be doing an environment course, for example, where you're learning the skills needed for bushcraft along the way, and you could sign off some competencies as well. But I don't know of any so far that are doing both SIAs and OAS stuff, but that could be a cool thing that we could put on in the future.
Can you do SIAs with other people?
Yeah, we get this question a lot. So all activities are more fun when you have people to share them with. And although your goal should be tailored to your individual level of challenge, you can always share the activity with others. So one example I have is that I'm doing an arts and literature SIA project in Rovers at the moment, and I'm involved in hosting the Scouting Around radio show on 96.5 Inner FM. And my goal is based around being able to produce, present, record and edit programs every few weeks, as well as pull a team together to help present. I have a bit of experience using music technology equipment, so my goal is more based around how to write and present a program. However, other rovers that are assisting with the radio show, they might have never used a mixing panel before. So their goal could be a bit different. They might set their goal to, I want to learn how to operate a panel and mix a show in a live format. So we might both be presenting the same radio show at the exact same time, but we've got different goals that we're working towards within that. So that's how you can sort of share the SIA experience.
And if you have any more questions about the special interest areas, you can email the SIA team at sia@scoutsvictoria.com.au.
That's it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Here's a regular segment on our live stream where our State Venturer Youth Commissioner, Zoe Herrera, answers your questions about venturing. So welcome to Ask Zoe. Zoe, welcome. So we have a few questions from Instagram. So Jed asked, why haven't units moved into the achievement pathways?
I guess that's more of a question for your unit than it is for me. Yeah, your unit can make the switch anytime now. And I know there's a bit of doubt or misinformation or just questions about everything. There is a link that will be put on the screen at the moment as the Venturer page on the Big Scouts website has been updated with all the up-to-date information about the achievement pathways. So have a squeeze at that.
So another question from Instagram. Oscar asked, will it be bad for going from the old system in Scouts to the new system in Venturers?
I actually think that's probably one of the best situations or transitions, because our program is very, very similar to what the old Venturer program used to be like. And if anything, you're starting on a blank slate. You don't have to change all your badge work over. Like, if anything, that's probably the best time to start it.
Okay, next question. What should I look for when choosing a location for my expedition? Well, not my expedition, but just in general. What kind of location?
yeah, there's a lot to consider. I mean, that's part of the challenge of expeditions, but probably big ones that stand out to me is the location. You want something that's a bit unfamiliar, a bit exciting, but also within the abilities of the people in your party. So if people have never been snow camping before, you probably shouldn't go to the Alps in winter. So something like that, but also things to look for safety wise, particularly. So access points throughout the hike or the trail, just in case anything wrong or bad happens, or any environmental issues that might come up, such as bushfire damage or closed tracks from, particularly right now in Gippsland, there's east area and Gippsland area, there's a few tracks I know that have been impacted by the storms that happened a few weeks ago. So yeah, but other than that, like, you think of all the good trails that you can think, like the main ones, like Great Ocean Road or Wilson's Prom. And if you haven't done one of those, I suggest having a look at them.
Okay, for venturers moving up to Rover soon, what advice can you give about trying out new crews?
Yeah, so my first big tip with this is to just try a lot of crews. So unlike venturers, you have a lot more freedom in Rovers to check out many crews in your area and maybe outside of your area. Because in Rovers, you want to find a crew that suits you and what you like to do. Because some crews, they're more into racing and cars, or some crews are more into board games and nights in, and some other crews are into adventurous activities. And you kind of just want to find a crew that suits your lifestyle and your personality, basically. But also, like, don't rush it. Sometimes it takes a while, and for me it actually took like 3 to 4 months before I found my crew, and that included me going to an actual rover camp. So as long as you're over 18, you can get hosted by a rover crew, and they'd be happy to have you, even if you don't end up joining. But then at that camp, you can meet a bunch of other rover crews or other rovers and make friends and just feel it out before you join any of them. And like, even when you do join, don't feel pressure to stay. Like, everyone's friends with everyone, and I just find a crew that works with you. It's kind of like I've missed them before now.
So what are some fun ideas for any venturers looking to plan?
There's so many. So I know classic in my unit when I was in Venturers was cooking nights, but from other people on the Venturer Council at the moment, there's Bob Ross painting nights, which are hit, and they're pretty easy. You just have to have some paints and YouTube access. You can even do joint nights with rovers. That kind of links into the last question. If you know your rover crews beforehand, it kind of helps when you want to link up. And you can even get them to teach you about cars, or like have a car maintenance night or an escape room. Like, there's so many things you can do with that. And yeah, there's the classic like roller skating or scavenger hunts and whatnot.
For those working towards their Queen Scout and aiming to finish it next year, should they change to the new system or stay on the old one?
This really depends again. Like, if you haven't done too many badges, I know some people are great at smashing things out within like 12 to 18 months. I would probably start on the new system. It's going to be super easy to change all your badge work over. But say you've passed your Venture Award, like you've got most of it done, just stick with the old scheme and you'll be good. But yeah. So for any leaders watching out there, or even venturers who know some really, really good leaders, we currently have 4 Venture Commissioner roles open at the moment for Plenty Valley, Gippsland, Northern Region, and Mount Dandenong. So if you know any leaders that would be great to join our team, send them our way, please.
So if you want to have any of your questions answered in the future, make sure to follow Venturers Victoria on Facebook and Instagram, as this is where the questions are all asked. Now we have a few reminders.
I'd like to now introduce Steph Rossica to talk about a little about the options for venturers who are wanting to participate in the Vic Jam later this year. Welcome, Steph.
Thank you. So obviously my name is Steph. I'm a venturer at Bunurong Tanjong Ventures. So for Vic Jam, venturers have three choices on how they would like to participate. They can attend as a participant, which would consist of 11 days on-site, doing on-site, off-site activities, and then an expedition of 5 days. That's $1,425 plus an optional merch pack. You could go as a service leader, which is 11 days providing service to the scouts, like ensuring scouts enjoying themselves. You can specialize in an area of interest for this one. That'll be $785 plus an optional merch pack. You can also go as a service leader plus go on a post-Vic Jam expedition. So service leader is the same as above, but then you also get the added on expedition, which is a 5-day expedition after the closing ceremony. This one costs $1,425 plus an optional merch pack. So all venturers will be in one big venturer subcamp with meals provided in a large mess tent with the service leaders, with the service leaders. Venturers will be organised into units of around 20 and will spend their whole time based in this unit so that these will be their group of venturers with others doing the same expeditions and service they are. So the expeditions that are available are, we have 2 premium activities. We have a scuba school, which costs $600 on top of the above pricing. This will run throughout the Jamboree. So during this expedition, venturers will have the opportunity to gain their PADI diving certificate. So the next premium activity is a flight school. So that one's also $600 on top of the pricing. So this one runs after the Jamboree. Venturers get to experience what it is like to earn your commercial pilot's license. So you eat, sleep, study, and fly like a commercial pilot students do. So the next expedition is Top Gear Venture. This one will run both during and after the Jamboree, and venturers will get to learn to drive. We'll learn to maintenance a car and then do some more driving. The next expedition is Best of the Bay. This one will also run during and after the Jamboree and will be a relaxed fun, including a water park, high ropes, snorkeling with the dolphins, seals, and much more. The next expedition we have is Abseil Away. This one will run after the Jamboree and will take venturers from beginner through to some serious abseiling up in North Victoria. So the next expedition is Land, Sea and Air. This one will run during and after the Jamboree. This one consists of day walks, sailing, windsurfing and some air stuff too. Next we have Aquatic Adventures. This one will also run during and after the Jamboree. This one we are learning to surf, sail and windsurf. And the last one we have is Peninsula Playtime. This one's also running during and after. It's a really laid-back relaxation. There's going to be beach, movies, chocolate factories, all sorts of stuff along the peninsula. So yeah, that's about it for what our Jamboree expeditions are. I think now we've got some questions.
Yep. So what activities are there?
So we have some on-site activities will include water slides, STEM, discos, mud fights, a large stage amongst other things.
Will venturers have to engage with scouts?
If they elect to do the service options, there will be some interaction with scouts.
Will venturers have to volunteer at scout activities?
So if they elect to, there are some service options, and this will include running things like activities, catering, off-site activities, logistics, amongst other things. And yeah, they will for these.
How long is it for?
So Vic Jam runs from the 29th of December to the 8th of January. So for those venturers who elect the option to do an expedition, that will also run for 5 days post Vic Jam expedition. Yeah, that one.
Cool. What are the costs involved?
So the costs range from 785 to 1,425, depending on what options are taken. There can be an all-service option, a fun option, or the service plus post-tour option, which ranges.
Will there be a mall or similar place for hot food sale? Mall or similar place for hot food sale, music, etc. available for venturers?
So there will be a mall that will include a snow gum outlet, vendors with a variety of food for sale, a radio station, a chill tent, amongst other things. These are available to both scouts and venturers. At times there will be music options available here along with music at the main stage.
What are the off-site activities?
So off-site activities for venturers include caving, abseiling, rock climbing, fun fields, Echuca visits, scuba, top gear and bay visits.
How much would venturers have to interact with the scouts?
It is clear that the aim of Vic Jam's management team that venturers are treated well at this event. It initially started off as an event for scouts, however, due to the venture being cancelled earlier this year and AG also being cancelled, it was felt that combining this event with a Victorian venture was the way to go. Venturers will have their own subcamp that will contain areas to relax and chill, along with interacting with their fellow venturers. Their meals will be with other adult leaders. On-site activities will be used by both scouts and venturers, but at all different times.
Will venturers have to share the activities with scouts?
While some of the activities will be shared by both scouts and venturers, they will be at different times.
Are there any plans for a New Year's celebration?
Yes, there are large New Year's celebrations are in the planning. Details are to be announced soon.
What night activities will there be?
There will be a main stage, a chill tent, discos, on-site activities including mall area and amongst other things.
Will there be any live music?
Yes, it is planned to have a number of live acts in the main arena.
Thank you for that, Steph. If interested in signing up for Vic Jam, then go to the Vic Jam website and sign up. I'd now like to introduce Eli Solly to talk about the activities at Winter Gathering. Welcome, Eli.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Eli, and I'm happy to announce the following activities for Winter Gathering. So first of all, we've got an archery range, which will be run by the state archery team. We also have a dedicated indoor area for board games and just like chilling out with your mates. We've got a quiet study area, which will be separate from this indoor area and separate from the hustle and bustle of the camp. So if you need to do any homework or get some assignments finished, there'll be that space to do it. We also have four-wheel drive journeys with the Scout 4x4 team. And they'll be around some of the best local tracks around the Surf Coast area. We're running Winter Warrior, which is a time trial around Umarella's exciting Challenge Valley course. And the abseiling wall will also be there, the state abseiling wall. We're going to run shuttle buses to and from the Great Ocean Road Chocolate Factory. So you can head in there, get your chocolate, and come back and maybe share it with your unit, or, if you don't want to, we're not going to judge. We also have orienteering and regaining around Umarella, run by Hoadley Hyde and Armstrong 500 teams. We're also running the all-new Scout Swap Shop, which is where you can bring in anything that you don't use anymore, such as old clothes that are still good but maybe aren't your style or you don't really fit into, and you can swap them for other people's things, and that'll be running all throughout the weekend. We're also going to have workshops run by experts in terrain and our program so that you can help your unit get ready to switch over to our program if you haven't already by the cutoff at the end of this year. And we'll have the opportunity for venturers to try their hands at beeswax strap making so that you can store your food in a more sustainable way. And we're going to have some stellar night entertainment as well. So we've got a Christmas in July rave with the one, the only DJ Gary making an appearance. We'll have all-night movies, and we're going to have a massive bonfire as well. You're also welcome to have campfires in your units, so long as you've got a fire drum to keep them in. And we've got heaps of other activities that we'd love to run, such as axe throwing and bubble soccer. But we can't run these activities if we don't have enough registrations by this weekend. So Regos close next the next weekend. And we really need all venturers who want to come to sign up as soon as they can, because this means that we can get more activities running on Winter Gathering. So if you want to come to Winter Gathering, you need to register now, and you can do that via the link that's on our Facebook page and our Instagram. And yeah, we'd really love to see you there because we've got a lot planned and it's going to be awesome.
So don't forget to register for Winter Gathering by the 18th of July to have a go at all these amazing activities. Thank you to both Eli and Steph for coming on and talking to us tonight. For all the latest Venture information, don't forget to follow Venturers Victoria on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Finally, before the end of the live stream, we will be answering your questions that you have commented in the chat. Although before we get to that, I'd like to introduce Kai, Rupert and Jasmine to give a personal experience of how great working on the new system is. So do you have any advice for advice on moving over to terrain?
One thing that we learned is the best way to do it is to get it done fast and sharp. What we originally tried to do was gradually phase over, and it did not work well at all. So I suggest that when you're making that switch, do everything at once.
Okay, so what's your favorite SIA that you've completed or proposed?
I'm really looking forward to a cooking SIA I'm doing. Really like my cooking, and I'm really looking forward to learning new things about cooking and developing those skills. It'll be pretty good.
So how does your unit council approve SIAs?
What we do, sorry, you go.
Similarly to before, we have a night about every turn where you can submit badges, but however, instead of being the old system, it's now the new system, and we can easily see the badge proposition on terrain, and you know how you feel it covers the badge. So it's good.
So speaking of, have you found terrain good for proposing activities and badges?
Yeah, I found it really helpful. I found it really helpful, and it's good to be able to see a clear-cut way on what the badge should cover.
So what's your favorite thing about our program?
I personally quite like the OAS skills. I think just because it really encourages people to move further in activities that they already have some experience in. And it also encourages to do things within that area that they wouldn't have thought of otherwise.
What do you like about the challenges regarding the OAS? Anyone?
Okay. Okay. So first, with our unit, we had a bit of a challenge, like just finding out what was different and how to log on to our terrain. But we had a terrain night, and that was really helpful. And we went over that, how to log in, what's different, what's new. So yeah.
We've found another challenge that because people with moving from Scouts to Adventures, and of course with the awards program, you have to have a certain number of OAS badges that you've gained in each section rather than all throughout. And the problem that we found with that is that there are some people who have done most of the stage in Scouts, but there are like 2 or 3 things left in the stage that they haven't done yet. So it's kind of, do you count that stage towards Scouts or Venturers? And that, of course, is something that ends up having to be discussed with the Venture Unit Council.
So thanks Kai, Rupert and Jasmine for talking to us about our system. Now I'd like to introduce Eli Solly, Duncan McCall, and Michael Wong to answer all of the questions you wrote in the chat.
So our first question is, does game show fit into SIAs?
I'm jumping back in to answer that one. So game show is a really good example of somewhere you can, or Showtime even, that you could extend yourself with SIAs. So we suggest finding a goal within game show or Showtime, something that you've never tried before. Talk to the production team, and they should be able to fit in that goal, hopefully, into the production, or find something within a sort of a challenge for you, being on stage or backstage, or if it's writing, whatever it could be. You could definitely use these activities in a special interest area. Take your idea to your unit council and sound it out there, and talk to the production teams as well. Hopefully they can work something out for you. Oh, is there more SIA questions?
Yep.
Oh.
And our next question is, does Barcom work with SIAs?
Barcom's an interesting one because it's kind of outdoor adventure skills in that you're working on sort of your construction and pioneering work, as well as paddling in a way, even though it's not like canoe paddling as much. So I'd fit it further into maybe the sort of OAS bucket. But if you can find a goal, something you want to achieve throughout Barcom, or a challenge for yourself, and your unit council is happy with it, it's going to take 12 hours, then go for it.
Awesome. So now we just want to briefly talk about Mud Bash, with working with student check in regards to being a adventurer versus being a rover.
Hi guys. So if you are 18, you have two choices. If you're in year 12, you can continue being an 18-year-old adventurer. Now, unfortunately, that means you cannot go to Mud Bash, because as an 18-year-old adventurer, you are still a venturer. So you can still attend venturer camps, but not quite major rover camps. However, you are encouraged to still take part in rover activities, and that does include overnight activities like with your rover crew. But you need to be over 18 for those ones. But for things like Mud Bash and Surf Moot that are more major events, there are like legal requirements and a bunch of rules and regulations that need to be adhered to. But otherwise, if you choose to go into rovers as soon as you turn 18, not doing 18-year-old adventurers, well then by all means go to Mud Bash. You don't need to have a crew to go to Mud Bash, but you need to be hosted by one. So it's similar to venture events in the sense that you just need to have a group to host you and be responsible for you, but otherwise go for it. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Zoe. Now we have Michael's first question. What can you tell us about service in the new program?
Okay, so what do you think they mean by service? Is that relating to your existing badge? Because I think you've got one of service. So trying to find the new equivalent. Is that maybe what the question's about?
Probably.
Yes,
Yeah,
probably.
I think so.
Okay. So the beauty about our new achievement pathway program now is that Adventurous Scouting Journey is what they want to make it to be. In our old scheme, we had the yellow book, we had the green book, and then your Venturer book, which essentially stipulated what you needed to do to achieve a particular badge, because you either wanted that badge or you wanted it, needed it for your peak award. Within the achievement pathways, you get to decide what you would like to do under service in terms of your milestones, or within the special interest areas. So the beauty is that it's not dictated, it's what you want to make it to be in service. I hope that answers the question.
Awesome. I've got another one for you, Michael. Do you need to keep evidence in the new system?
Okay, so I suppose the main area where you'd be looking to keep the evidence is within the outdoor adventure skill space. And the adventure skill space is where often it's not to verify your skill and competency in a particular activity, you need to have some form of documentation evidence, and it might be a diary, it might be photos, things like that. So particularly in the outdoor adventure skills, definitely. With things like your personal reflection that you might do at the end of a milestone or for your peak award, a venturer can present their personal reflection in a conversation with another venturer, or they might want to have it as a diary or some documentary evidence of their personal reflection. It's up to the venturer.
Suppose we've got another one for you, Michael. Will venturers be nominated an adult leader to support them if things go wrong?
So will venturers be nominated an adult leader to support? So is that the question is if a venturer is finding a bit difficult going through the achievement pathways, will they have a leader to back them up? Is that what the question?
I would imagine so, yes. Yeah.
Okay. I suppose my thinking is that the best support that a venturer can have is the peers within their unit and their unit council, because they've either gone through the same or they can just discuss it as a unit council. Don't forget, youth-led adult supported, you've always got your leaders there to support you when you need it. My advice would be to constantly just seek that feedback, refer it to your council, refer it to other venturers before things get to the go wrong stage.
We've just found out that with this question, it was regards to a Vic Jam. So venturers.
Oh, right. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what that would be at Vic Jam. I'm not involved with Vic Jam.
I'm not sure. Yeah. With this question, Rochelle, if you want to email into the help email, then we can. Yes, the Vic Jam help email or Vic Jam email. We can answer that for you there. Our next question is: would cooking count as a STEM SIA?
We find that special interest areas overlap a lot depending on what the idea is. So although you might think that cooking is a STEM and innovation special interest area, you're doing like a science experiment like baking or making sherbet, it could be anything. But you can also find that it's a growth and development special interest area because you're growing in yourself, learning a new skill. So kind of in the same way that you would do cooking for pursuits maybe in the old system, think about pursuits as maybe this is like the growth and development part of the new system. So it could fit into two categories, but take it with, everything sort of like overlaps within special interest areas. So make your own choice with your unit council.
Thanks, Lawrence. We've got another question that looks like it's from Michael. So 2 members of unit council need to approve the application and terrain. What if you're not running a unit council? Who would be able to approve those badges?
Okay, so the strong recommendation would be to definitely get your unit council up and running. The reason I say that is that the achievement pathways is a one developmental model from Joey Scouts to Cubs to Scouts to venturers. And at each of those levels, they do have the same unit council sort of operating as you do in Venturers. So Cubs going to Scouts transitioning to Venturers will have that expectation that I will do certain things to earn my milestones, and I will have that unit council there to look at my projects, approve my projects, and so forth. So if you don't have one, well, let me go back a step. Your leaders within terrain are also nominated as unit leaders, so they can also have a look at what's in the pipeline for approval, what's been sent back for improvement and things like that. So it may well be that you have one venturer approved with leader support, but ideally, please have your venturer unit council up and running.
Awesome, thank you. Our next question is, if you have a blended venture unit from several different groups, is it possible to manage venturer records, or will there be issues with duplication within their registered groups?
Yes, I'm not 100% certain about that one. I might take that one on notice, and if I could be sent the email, I'll find that one out. Because, you know, you can have venturers at blended units where they're essentially being hosted by that group, but in essence, the Scouts terrain achievements are attached to that venturer's registration number and no one else. So wherever you move between groups interstate, your achievement pathway record will go with you and not so much your group. So it's attached to you.
I hope that, cool. I hope that answered Supercal's question.
Yeah.
Our
It's not
next
so
question-
much to the group, it's to yourself.
Yeah, awesome. Our next question, again from Supercal, is first aid, no part of stage 5 core, but could you use first aid as an SIA badge?
So there's a sort of simple answer to it, which is, you know, at stage 5 of all the OAS, you're expected to have, I think, level 2 first aid completed to get that stage. But for example, if you were really ambitious and you wanted to complete something like an advanced wilderness first aid course, you know, it's going to take you 12 hours in the bush to get the qualification. That could be a special interest area project, but it really comes down to what your unit council says. Talk to your unit council and your leaders, and if they think you're double dipping a bit too much with outdoor adventure skills and special interest areas, well, that's tough luck. But yeah, if you've got a clear goal and you can explain to them why it's not double dipping, then I'm sure they'll understand.
Wonderful. We've got a question from Michelle. Hey guys, what's the Big Jam exclusive tonight that was mentioned in the previous posts?
So funny you mentioned that. We're gonna get to it, but I guess now is better time than none. So at Big Jam, we will be having a special 24-hour venturer retreat where venturers can go and chill out, get snacks or a drink, and hang away from the hustle and bustle of the regular Jamboree life. Feel like a toasty at 3 a.m? We've got you covered. So we will also be doing having a competition to pick the name for this special venture retreat. So for any ideas that any of you have to send in, please send it to marketing@scoutsvictoria.com. The person, .com.au. The person with the best name will win a special chair in the lounge for the duration of the Jamboree, and who doesn't love their own special chair? So yeah, put your names in and there you go.
That's the questions.
Wonderful. So currently we are just having a look at which leader won the
Competition.
competition. By the looks of it. Yeah, let me come on screen. Hello, I'm Sophie. I've been working behind the scenes. But the winner of the Silly Leader competition is First Hillsville. Congratulations, First Hillsville, for Swaggy. And it looks like it was a picture of him at Cubbery with Cherry Lane. So congratulations, First Hillsville. We'll be in contact with you in regards to your prize. Thanks everyone for sending those photos in. They were all hilarious.
So thanks for everyone for tuning in. We hope you got a little bit of something out of it. Oh, first we have one minute.
Sorry about that, guys. I just thought I should do a little bit of spruiking right now. If you haven't already, you should go see Melbourne Gang Show this year. It's Bold Pirates, and you can tell I'm part of the production. I'm in the pit, but you know, it's amazing. I've heard it like a million times. I love all the songs. If you are thinking about it, if you even have like a little tiny thought, you definitely should go. If any venturers that are interested, there is Venturer Night this Friday. So yeah, you get to go see the show, and then you get to go to a venture party afterwards, which is like, you know, it's always has heaps of people there. It's heaps of fun. But yeah, even if you have a tiny little thought about going, you got to go. It's amazing. But yeah.
So back to what I was saying.
Yeah, awesome. And thanks so much, Michael, for coming on. It's been great having you answer
Pleasure.
questions, and it's been great to talk to you. So, thank you very much.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
if I could just say,
Maddie?
you know, if you do, any of the venturers do have any questions about the achievement programs, please send an email to npi@scoutsvictoria.com.au.
Okay, so thanks everyone for tuning in. We hope you got something out of it. Keep an eye out for both Vic Jam and Winter Gathering registrations. And if you're looking for a little bit more information about our system, go to Ventures Victoria website to look at resources regarding it. Or feel free to email our support email at support@vicventures.com.au.
Awesome.